Welcome, everyone. I invite you to slow down with me. My name is Jenny, and I can feel the seasons shift. And sometimes we feel weighed down. We've been wintering for a long time, and we're just ready for something new. So, this is your invitation to pause. Together, we're going to journal, reflect, and create. This is not about fixing ourselves, but to really honor what is really ready to be released and what is quietly blossoming. And, we can do this together. So, thanks for making some space for some gentle self discovery today. And we're going to make a little art. It's going to be intentional, it's going to be wonderful. Thanks for being here. So let's just tune in. We're going to dive right into it. We're going to grab some papers. So I already have my journal here, and we're going to breathe into it a little bit. I like to put my hands on my journal. Just to center ourselves, signaling to our body that we're ready to be present. Breathe at a pace that feels good for you. You ask yourself, what am I ready to release? Is there anything that I can move through? What seeds do I feel like planting this spring as we come into this new season? It's nice because the sun is shining. And what is something that wants to grow within me? I think it's really nice to let yourself be free and unedited and really just trust what comes. And hopefully you're sitting in your safe space. Do anything that calls to you, like light a candle or incense. I always make sure that I have a bit of a space and some time that I know that I can sit down and be present with myself. So feel free to do that. Now, as we move into the art, no need to be an artist. I think that's something that we get really hung up on. So just try to do your best to be non-judgmental and bring your materials and your heart. So today I'm just working with a black waterproof ink pen, a pencil, some old watercolor sets that I've been using for a while, a little jug of water. And I'm always a big fan of just picking one brush. So today I just picked a round 4. I have a little cloth that I like to reuse and an eraser just in case. So as we move into this art, I'd like to imagine some flowers blooming or trees or gardens, something that connects you to nature. And you can actually just start sketching it, or you can just flow into it. So I'm going to think of more, I'm going to start from the bottom today and just start creating. So I'm going to take a second. I like to breathe into it sometimes if I'm feeling nervous. 3, 2, 1, you can release. And today, think of anything that feels rooted to you. I'm just going to start with some roots here. They're little wavy lines. You do them however you like. They can be straight. They can be really close together. Be a little bit further apart if you like. And as we're thinking about this, we really trust our hands and any lines that come through. It's very intuitive and gentle practice. Nobody's going to see this. It's just for you. It's just for you to express and grow something. Think about, what is it that you want to grow this season? What is it you want to cultivate? Bring life to. I think often we really like to rush into big endeavors, and then when we get to it, it feels like it's taking too long. But a tree is always a good symbol to think about how small the seed was to build this tree. I'm going to draw a little seed here. And think about how much love the seed needs to be nurtured. You know, it takes water. We have symbols for water. I'm just going to draw some wavy lines. Sunshine, right? Sunshine as I draw into this. So I drew a sun just right over my tree. It doesn't matter. I'm going to color it a little bit differently when I get there. So I'm just doing really simple wavy lines, straight lines, and curved lines. No details. No need for the process of creating something to look like anything. So we're just playing with some lines. So let's feel free and we'll do that for a couple minutes here. So I was just thinking about what you want to nourish. Is there something that comes to mind? So I'll share a little story. So right now, for me, I really wanted to nourish myself. I really want to ground into myself. I got a little lost in social media, and it was feeling very draining. I felt burnt out. I also said yes to a lot of events and workshops, and I felt like I was overextending myself, and I wasn't being mindful of my capacity. Especially when I got onto Instagram, I created an art account, and I also created a business account, and then I created a nonprofit. And next thing I knew, I was like, whoa, I have too many platforms. I'm not able to manage them all. So I went from one extreme to another. I deleted my Instagram and Facebook off my phone to provide myself space and just kind of hack my own patterns to the point where I can't access them, and gave myself a bit of a detox. I think I'm about 2 weeks in, which is quite nice, and I find myself sometimes thinking about it, sometimes reaching for my phone, and give myself lots of gentle compassion and say, yeah, you're breaking a habit. So I kind of freed up that space, and I have been open to creating something new and planting a seed, like I'm doing right now, to what I want to grow. So the thing that I want to grow, my intention here is to cultivate capacity. So I'm actually going to write that into my tree. Capacity. And capacity, you know, for me, was just really making sure that I was prioritizing myself over everything, and maybe reformatting and repivoting. And that's okay. Like, it's okay if I've invested some time and I feel that sunken cost fallacy and I want to change. I don't have to make anything permanent. I don't believe in the badge of honor for enduring and self-suffering to the point where it's very toxic, and we create these maladaptive patterns. So as we move into spring, what is it that you really want? You know, like, what is it that calls to you, that you want to invite in, that really helps you blossom? What is it that you want to nourish? Is it family time? Is it personal time? Is it time for some self-development, whether that's physical, spiritual, or mental? You know, I love thinking about it that way. What can I do for my mind? You know, what am I consuming? Is it podcasts? Is it books? What is it, right? And for my body, am I exercising? Am I spending enough time outside in nature? And, you know, as we go through this and think about what we want to cultivate, we can also write these into our nature, our spring journaling. Just trying to get into a flow here. It always takes a bit. I I'm just drawing spirals in my tree, actually. I was going to draw leaves, but it didn't turn out that way. Take as much time as you need with each step. There's no rush to the next step. I always like to remind myself I'm not trying to force this little seed to grow really fast, because no matter how much water and sun you give it, it will grow at its own pace. And it's gonna do it in the timing that is most aligned for them. External forces cannot make you go faster than you are capable of going. And this is a nice reminder that we can just be present in the moment, and that we're still nourishing our seed and our little buds coming into spring. Soon they'll be full bloom, and we'll see what we've cultivated over the winter and how intentional it is up to us, right? That's our choice. Yeah. Are there any messages that are coming through for you? And what's one small step that you can do to nurture this intention this week? So for me, it was capacity, and I think to slow down. So maybe that's a word I'm going to write here is to slow down. I'm going to write it over here. I like to embed my words right into the picture. Slow down. Okay. And what's something else that I can do to create more capacity? Rest. I don't have any capacity when I am tired. Surprise, surprise. To nourish, right? I don't have much capacity if I'm hangry. And what are some other things? I think from the sun, I'm going to write compassion, empathy, and come from a place of love, and hope for the spring, hope for a wealthy harvest season, with lots of abundance. I think that's really beautiful and meaningful, and speaks to how growth doesn't have to be fast, that you're planting something really meaningful and you're nurturing it the day to day with your habits, being intentional, setting goals and leaning into the resistance as it's going to unfold and grow at its own beautiful time frame. So that's something that's really beautiful that we can think about. I think I'm ready to move into painting. I really like watercolors. It's pretty gentle. I find it's not as controlled as some other mediums, and I can just do a nice bright wash. I like lots of water. I like to spread it. I like dry. I like wet. So just do whatever calls to you. I also like starting with one color and just like really letting that color be the part of the picture, and we can add other colors later. Because the nice thing about watercolors is that it just dries and then we can mix later, resaturate it, or as they call it, reactivate it. So you get the paint to come alive. That's the term they use. So I'm doing a really messy one. I'm feeling really open and free. I'm not I'm not too worried about the details right now. I just kind of want to get some colors in. Just swoosh in some colors. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow here after the brown. That was a burnt sienna. Easy, beautiful brown. Put some yellow in where I wrote compassion and empathy and love. And, you know, what do we talk about? We talked about rain. Yeah, we talked about rain. And that we need the water to nourish our seeds. So, you know what? I'm going to do a bunch of blue. To really symbolize that I'm going to water it every day. That just because I slow down once or get one good night's rest, that everything else is going to be all right. It's something that's a long-term process. We honor that and we love days that rain, or at least I do, because that reminds me of the days that are sunny. And having that contrast and that duality is just so beautifully genuine to the seasons and the tides of nature. There's lots of ways that we can form this. You know, we talk about ebb and flow of the ocean. I just mentioned tides. We talk about lakes, how some people feel very connected to water, bodies of water. Even people move towards them, feeling like a calling to go be near a body of water. Actually, I'm going to add a little bit of green. I started adding blue where there's grass. Now, you know, you don't have to do real nature colors. You do whatever feels called. If you want a purple tree, please make a purple tree. And if you're not drawing a tree at all, then don't worry about what I'm saying. This is a lot of doing what feels right in the moment. Really being present. Enjoying the brush and the patterns and the colors. And, draw some green leaves. This is, I don't know what this is, but I just try feeling some green on this blue. Sometimes we don't have to know either. I think that's really nice, is we don't have to know exactly why we want to do something. It doesn't have to be explained in any way. It could just be abstract. You just happen to like that color in that spot at that time. And that's really amazing that we can do that. I'm adding some purple just because I said that. I'm a big fan of purple, if you can't tell. And so a lot of the times I find that I add it at the end to kind of close off some of my paintings. This one is quite simple. We didn't spend a lot of time on any of the details. This is more just about tapping in to that spring energy, doing a bit of sketching, a tiny bit of journaling. Usually what I like to do, where the journaling comes in, is once it's dry, I'll throw some words on it and kind of map out a little bit of my feelings. It doesn't have to be full sentences. Sometimes it can be bullet points. And when we do that, it kind of just instills the intention. It gives you reminders of just how you were feeling at that time, maybe even where you were sitting and just describing what came up for you. That's always quite nice. You can say, like, I didn't like this purple, and just like write it in. Why didn't you like it? Well, it mixed with the brown and it turned a yucky color, you know, and just be really honest with yourself and being filter free. You can say, you know, the blue reminds me of a really sad time, you know, however that connects to you. And yeah, I will continue to write on it. I'll share what it looks like at the end. And thank you for being here with me in this practice. And if this stirred up anything for you, please honor it. Come back to it, let it evolve. You are a garden, and tending to it with much love. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye.